Pastor D, and I am the founder and the director of Dunamis Woman and Ram International Ministries. And out of Dunamis Woman and Ram International Ministries, God has given us a great vision. And first of all, that great vision is to understand your greatness and the power you possess. Well, one thing that I have learned is that I am great, and everyone that's around me is great. But we cannot experience greatness unless we come together. So I want to know, this is a question that I've been asking myself, and I'm asking you right now. Why is it so much dissension and tension and jealousy that's amongst women? Not just woman to woman, but also mother to daughter, sister to sister. And one of the things that was revealed to me is that the enemy is scared to death when women come together. So right now, you're going to see two powerful women that have transitioned through so many journeys to get from their pains to their promises. And you're going to hear how women come together united, how they come and learn about one another, have rich relationships. Women that walked in the door did not know anything about each other, not even their name. But yet they came together. So I want to welcome you to Dunamis Woman and Ram today, because this is what it's about. A special edition. You won't see me. You're going to see two powerful women. A product of other products of what a woman is supposed to be. And that's a woman of truth. Enjoy, and I'll be back with you on next week. I'm Pastor D, Dunamis Woman. Have a blessed day.
Hey, Michelle.
Hello.
Can you believe Dee let us take over her show today?
I cannot believe it. I'm
Excited.
excited.
Yeah, we're here today. You know what? Let's talk about something. How did you come to Dunamis Woman?
I came to Dunamis Woman through a prayer line. I was looking for something, trying to grasp at whatever. And I just so happened to be here, and I came to an emotional healing clinic one evening, just not expecting what I encountered. And what I encountered was realness, raw teaching, camaraderie, just essence, pure essence, pure excitement. I was so scared. I'm not even gonna lie. I was nervous because I had never experienced that before, and I'm very standoffish when it comes to being when it comes to being around other people, especially other women. But this was such a warm environment. It was something like I said, I'd never experienced before, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, it's funny because I've been coming to emotional healing clinics for about 7 years, and I remember the very first one that I came to. It was music playing. Everybody had their issues down on the floor, and we were jumping on issues and dancing.
Oh, wow.
And when I came in, I'm like, what is going on? This is not church. I was like, wait a minute. I said, but that's my issue, and that's my issue, and I'm going to stump it out too. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm at home.
Right.
This is a place where I need to go because I have real life issues.
Yes.
And I needed ways to deal with my issues because my issues were starting to consume my life. So when I came to emotional healing, I was so ready and tired of the things that I was dealing with in my life. And I didn't have any tools to deal with it. It was consuming me. So when I came to emotional healing, just to know that I had lost myself in things that I was doing instead of who I was, it was amazing in the opening up of myself, how my confidence was built, how I was able to do other things outside of that, just being happy, just knowing who Connie was and not having to behind mask and makeup and shoes and clothes and men. I used to have a lot of men. But anyway.
As you're saying that, I had what I call was a wall. Glass wall. That one way I could see you, but you can't see me, but it's still a wall. And what was pivotal to me, I came to one of the emotion healers, and D. Collins simply said, "Who are you?" And I was like,
I got that question too.
I'm all arrogant about it. I'm a mother. I'm a this. I'm a that. She's like, "No, really, who are you?" And I'm like, "I just told you who I was," but I didn't know who I was.
Nope, had a clue.
And
Had
it's the discovery process of getting to know who you are that makes this so valuable.
Yes,
it makes it. And when you said stopping on issues, the things that we do are very creative. Just different methods to get you to the place you need to be.
Yes.
It's not stuffy. It's not all oh, we're just going to do this and here's A, B. It may be A, Z, or whatever, depending on what the spirit, how it's being led.
Yes.
And it depends on your needs. You know, the needs of the people. Not a self-righteous, well, this is what I'm going to do because I am the... No. Very smooth, you know, and very, I mean, it's smooth. I love it. And slowly that wall
It was
has been tearing down.
Well, I have to say, I have seen your wall being teared down, and I love the woman that's behind it.
Well, thank you.
She's an awesome woman.
and I've watched you blossom. I've just watched you just. When I came in at first, I was nervous about you, and I think I told you I was kind of scared of Connie. But once I got to know you and got to listen to you, and you know, even being imparted, just your words and your wisdom from being here before me, I'm like, I like Connie. Connie is cool. You know, Connie embraces, and I didn't know you at first, but I've watched you just grow and just, I mean, your smile. Yeah, baby, that's it.
Well,
Just being magnetic.
And it's
That's what magnetic, yes.
You know, it's funny that you say that because before I came here, I was in corporate America.
Okay.
And you know, corporate America kind of have you real stuffy. It's about, you know, it's really about what you can do. And so it was easy to be in corporate America and hide behind the things that I could do. And, you know, that was organizing, you know, time management, you know, the same skills that I use as a mother.
Right.
And how I govern my home. So when I came here, I had to learn not to do. I had to learn how to be. Right. So sometimes, you know, I've always been a person that I'm like an M&M. You know, you hard on the outside, but it's all sweet and chocolatey and good on the inside. But, you know, sometimes... you have to take a minute to get to know somebody before you can just say, you know, wipe them off. So I appreciate you telling me that, you know, it took a minute to, you know, get to the hard shell, but it was really sweet on the inside. But you know what? It used to be in time that I wouldn't even let you get through the hard shell because I needed you to know that I could do. Because that's what I was so used to doing. Because like you say that you hit a wall, I hit a shell. Okay. So it wasn't until I could break down the shell that you could get to know me. But in corporate America, if I broke down the shell, you would have known that my kids is out of order, that I sleep around, you know, that I had, you know, my house wasn't clean. You know, I clean house all the time, but but you know, just things was out of order, and I never wanted anyone to know that I did not have things in order. And but once I became into emotional healing, I realized that was pride. That was my pride in other things around me and not necessarily valuing myself. Okay. Valuing things around me and not myself. So once I learned to value myself and my shell got softer, then I was like, I can be me. Right. I could be kind. I could be sweet. I could be loving. I could be caring. I could be.
Go on, poetry.
Oh, yes, the poetry.
Yes. One of the things that I like about emotional healing is something. I came from corporate America too, and knowing you and knowing others, we have similar backgrounds. We have similar experiences, and we can learn from one another. And you and I would ride together to certain events, and that's when I really started noticing we're alike in a lot of ways. We have the very similar experiences. And one of the things, I didn't have a strong religious background, but I had a religious mindset. But a lot of that came from corporate America. It trained me to be rigid. And that's where the walls came up. But once I started talking to you, and we would ride together, and you would talk about your issues and your children and things of that nature, I'm like, wow, I'm not alone. And that was refreshing to me. But it also let me know, because I have a daughter, you have a daughter, and then how you mother, it lets me know, it gives me good foundation. You know, to talk to someone else whose daughter is older than mine, and I can see your progression and know, okay, this is what I can do because it's already been done and it's in a positive light. So just having you imparting and just that open communication, I think that's what emotional healing, I know, has done is just allowed us to be open and naked and unashamed
Yes.
and being able to communicate without being afraid
Yes.
of being judged.
Yes.
In corporate America, you don't want that.
No. Mm-mm.
In a religious setting, you don't want anybody to know
No.
your wounds because you think that everybody is going to hurt you. Emotional healing breaks down that, and it
Yes.
builds trust.
Yes.
Where mistrust is, it builds trust. And you not only trust the person around you, but you trust your own self.
Yes.
You know, to thine own self be true. That's something that I learned. You know, I have to know who I am and be comfortable with it, comfortable to accept it, but also comfortable to change what needs to be changed. And so it's just an open, free environment for me, whereas I didn't have that before.
Yes.
Because as a child, I was taught to be perfect.
Yes, me
Sit
too.
up straight. This is how you act. You better not embarrass me. Don't
Eat
you
all
talk
your
my
food.
business
Right.
in the street. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? I was taught to be perfect.
Yes.
And so here I'm taught that you don't have to be perfect.
You're
There
not
is no
perfect.
such thing as perfection. You know, and I was raising my daughter that way.
Yeah.
And so now I'm learning how to be a better mother. Better woman first.
Yes.
To be a better mother.
You know, it's so funny because I really look forward to going to emotional healing every week, because sometimes your life circumstances goes on all week and you need tools.
Yes.
So I come on Saturday morning and I need to know. I be writing notes during the week, like I need to talk about this and emotional
Right.
healing. And I have seen days where it's no set format, but it's based on the things that we bring. We get answers to questions on how to deal with it, how to move forward, tools to help you deal with situations that you didn't even have a clue about. And you know what? If I'm going through it, 9 times out of 10, it's somebody else that's going through it too. And if they're not going through it the way that I am, they can use that as a tool to deal with something else in their lives.
Exactly.
So emotional healing has been so valuable to me. It has been
Likewise.
so valuable.
Likewise.
I remember it was one emotional healing that that was kind of a pivotal point in my breakthrough with my kid's father. And Dee was asking me, you know, who fault it was. And I told her it was his fault. And she told me, no, say it's your fault. I looked at her real hard. I said, no, it's his fault.
See?
Oh, I'm telling you, it was a breakthrough. And I had to go through the tools that we had learned that night and really pray about it. And you know what I found out? It was my fault too.
Yeah.
So once I was able to say, take my pride away and take everything away and say, you know what? It wasn't just him, it was me. I can move forward.
And
Do you know how many things in life that we try to blame other people and never take responsibility of ourselves and keep us in a state of stagnation and can't move forward in bitterness? But once you release it and understand your part in it, you can move forward, and it's not a crutch anymore.
Yes.
That's an amazing thing to do.
When you say that, I kept thinking about healing. Healing.
Yes, that's the healing part.
That's the healing part. And one of the things that was pivotal for me when we were taught about skills, strategies, and timing.
Yes.
Because I may have had a skill, but it was at the wrong time. I may have thought I knew the strategy, but it wasn't the strategy. It was just amazing to me to learn that. But it helped me through my healing process. It helped me to know that through me, the person who hurt me would be healed. And it made me go back to my ex-husband. And it made me communicate where I did not. It made me open up where I would not. Because I didn't want him to know, you know, the deepest dark secrets of my pain.
Yeah.
But it allowed me to go, and it brought up things that I didn't know about him at all.
Wow.
Which was struggle. He struggled with certain things as a child. I had no idea.
So how long were you married to him?
I was married to him, I don't know, 14 years.
And
maybe.
you said you never found that out.
Never found out until I started really looking at myself. Because
Wow.
like you, I'm like, it was his fault. He the one that did this, that, and the other. I was perfect.
Perfect.
You know, but
All my
life. He was blessed to have me and all of my perfection.
Yes.
But it let me know, no, baby girl,
You
you
got
were not
faults.
perfect. You have faults. But going back to him with those faults and being able to communicate allowed him to open up
Wow.
as well. And it allowed him a level of dealing with some issues that I had. When I tell you, I've known him for over 20 years.
Wow.
But had no idea that he struggled in this area as a child. And so now moving forward, and this is what emotional healing, it doesn't just stop at your pain, but it takes you to about moving forward.
Yes.
Moving forward, I know now, and so I will do better or differently than I did in the past. So it gives you the knowledge, understanding, and also wisdom, and that wisdom is application. Because once you leave emotional healing clinic, you have to apply what you learned, and that's what you were talking about.
Yeah, you know, it sounded like that you was a catalyst for change, not only in your life, but in his life, in your daughter's life.
Yes.
So it's breaking generational curses.
Most definitely.
I remember one teacher that we just had not too long ago that you was key in it, you know, with your background in the history, and we had drew a big tree.
Right.
The tree of the core of it is self-sabotage,
The roots,
and generational, and how our ancestors went through things, and how it originated. And some things that we're dealing with is not even because of us; they're generational.
It's generational things that have happened to our mothers and their mothers. And you know, we're not privy to a lot of that information, especially in my family. I have a grandmother who's 89,
Wow.
and I know she's from Mississippi, but that's all I know about her.
Wow.
And that's all she's allowed us to know. We don't know why she and her sisters came up, but whatever they went through was traumatic. We didn't know that. But had we known this type of information, then we could have started to, you know, break down the barriers, especially in the lines of communication. You know, we deal with a lot of homosexuality. We deal with a lot of incest. We deal with a lot of molestation. But we've dealt with it not knowing that that's generational after generation, that spirit of lust and perversion. And those are the things we unearth in emotional healing. We get deep into those roots and put an axe to the roots. I would have never thought in a million years I suffered from pride. If suffered is the right word, was, you know, prideful nature, because my pride would let me know it was pride.
Yeah, but you know what? I didn't understand what true pride was until I came to emotional healing.
Exactly, because pride for me was a good thing. I'm proud of my culture. I'm proud of my family history, but it's like
I got 3 degrees.
Right.
I can do this. I can do this. I'm proud of this. I'm proud, but I was hiding behind it.
Yeah.
I wasn't letting myself be me because my pride wouldn't let me do it.
And one of the things that's helped me with emotional healing, and God is dealing with me, is that emotional healing has allowed me to really, it's been a support for me, because in my breaking process, I'm now technically homeless. I don't have a place of my own.
Oh, okay.
And had I not been here, do you know how damaged I would have been?
Yeah.
To know that I don't have a place for my daughter and I in my own name to stay. But see, God put me in a place to whereas I had to go back to some things.
Yeah.
Because I was on my own at a very young age, which was out of order anyway.
Yeah.
And so he's putting me back to a place where I needed covering. So he's breaking down that pride. But without emotional healing and without the support, I wouldn't have been able to deal with that. I would have felt like a true failure.
Yes.
Whereas now I don't feel like a failure, but I'm able to move forward. And I'm learning now about planning and being strategic. Things that would have taken me all off square. Because one point in my life, when I was a young woman, I had to move back in with my mom. And instead of being imparted to by my mom and letting being there with my mom, I was like, in 2 weeks I'm out of here. I'm gone. I think I moved all the way up north just to get away.
Wow.
But see, I think he positioned me to be with my mother, but I didn't take advantage of it.
Yeah.
So he's going to bring you back to some things.
Yeah.
But now I have the teachings and I have the support. It's not about the teachings. Emotional healing is about the support.
You know what, Michelle, did you say that about being homeless? I was in that kind of same situation where I had been broken down and had to go back to some things. But when I went back, I understood it was a lesson that needed to be learned. And I had to spend about 2 months living with my auntie. And during that time, I can see my curses. So I could truly be the curse breaker in my family.
Okay.
And see how the dominance in the women that's all around me, not just the dominant woman that I was, but the dominant women that were around me. All the women in my family are dominant women. So
Okay.
just to see how that dominance could make you single for the rest of your life, make you
Yes.
stagnated in where you are, how it keep you in a box. And once I saw that, I saw a different part of myself, some in a way that I had never dreamed that I could see myself. But when I saw that, I was like, wow, it's some things I still need to work on.
Yeah.
Even though I've been going through this process for 6 years, I still had layers that I still need to go. And once I was able to step outside of my dominance, I found somebody who loved me.
See?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Mrs. Jones.
Yes.
Mrs. Jones.
Yes. So I'm on my way to being not dominant, but being a woman that could be loved by a man. So I'm on my way to being married.
Congratulations.
So, yeah,
I'm so happy for you. And seeing your story inspires the rest of us who are single and waiting. It's amazing to watch your journey. I'm so serious. When we come to your house and we pray at your home, just to see you and your husband to be together, to see you happy, to see you smile, you know, to see you being covered, it just gives me hope. It really does. And I'm so happy for you. You know, prior to me 6-7 years ago, I probably would have been envious of you. I wouldn't have been able to see how beautiful this experience really is, not just for you, but for all of us around you. And it's like, wow, Connie is the curse breaker. Because if you look at all of us, we're very similar. We all are dominant women. We all come from independent backgrounds.
Yes.
We all have been broken in one area or another. But to see you come out of that shell and to embrace being a wife, you know, and not only a wife, but a midwife, a woman who's going to birth vision, who is birthing vision, not will be, but you are in the process and seeing that, and then for you to get a kingdom man. Oh, wow.
You know, it is funny because 7 years ago, if you would have told me that, I would have told you was a lie. And the truth is not in you.
Right.
It wouldn't happen to me. But you know, in that process, one thing I have to say that more than anything, I was obedient. More obedient to the things that was going on and the things that I was told. Each tool I took and I put it in my toolbox to be used. And the breaking down has been really good for me because I couldn't survive as that dominant woman, that bitter woman, that woman who thought men was just, you know, good for my personal pleasure. So, but to change my mindset, and, you know, the key thing is you have to change your mind, your mindset about things. And with that change in my mind, I was able to embrace being a woman because I have always been dominant. And in that dominance, you know, I operated as a man. You know, affectionately what I would call Chuck.
All right, Chuck.
You know, and I remember when I first met my fiance, and I would come and I say, Chuck is dying. And you know, everybody laughed at me, woo. But I felt my sensitive and my feminine coming out. And, you know, one of the men that was in the ministry would always tell me that you have to have some grace. You know, you hard. I'd be like, what do you mean? What do you mean? But then I saw it, I was like, oh, that's what he was talking about.
Yes.
So, you know, just to come into that and know I don't have to be the person standing up and the person that's doing is a whole different level of trusting God. And I'm not going to say trusting my fiance because it's not about this. The reason why I'm going through this process and I'm doing the things that I'm doing is because of God, the way God is working in me. It's my total submission to God. So, and you know what I learned all that at? In emotional healing. Yes. So we, as women, we haven't been operating in our womanly role. We have been doing a lot of operating in dominance. And you know, and when you operate in dominance, you operate out of Jezebel. And that's kind of, in a way, too, how I came to emotional healing. Because I remember working in the office, and one of the ladies was talking about her group, and she was inviting other people out. And I asked her, so why you didn't invite me? So, and when I saw this about the spirit of Jezebel, that really, you know, prompted me to come to emotional healing. Because even though I didn't understand what Jezebel was, I knew that it was something that I needed to know
Exactly.
about. So with that, I can recognize different people and how they operate. Strongholds that's operating in other people, strongholds that's operating in me, and those are things that you learn to break down, and that all stems from pride.
That too has been a big help to me. Like I said, I didn't know anything about anything, and to learn about the spirits and because I was used to dealing with the flesh, and that's how, and I was being mocked up because I didn't know how to fight that, and I learned about Amorite. I learned about different things. Jezebel, I had no idea. Jezebel was a song by Outkast. Jezebel. You understand? When I tell you my limited knowledge, I'm like, oh, Jezebel. No, Jezebel. There's a difference, But that was it. But to learn about that and then to see it operating myself was scary. I'm like, I have this too?
Yeah.
And then it also shows you the other ways, what was really life-changing for me when I learned about opponents, antagonists, and adversaries. I was like, this is it right here. I'm never leaving. Because this was a whole nother level of warfare. I didn't know about warfare.
Yeah.
But that just allowed me to take the natural and the spiritual and really be able to get out of that existence and live.
Yeah.
Because when you don't know these things, when you're just existing.
Yeah.
You're just a body.
Yes.
And
in corporate America, you have all those.
Yes.
Adversary, antagonists, people that come to get you off your square, who come to mess with you just because. And you know what? They can mop you up. And you don't understand, why is this person against me? It's to build you up.
Yes.
They come to do what?
Right. Build me up. Well, build me up in another way.
Oh, they breaking me down.
Right.
Why she don't like me? Oh, because she not supposed to like you.
Right.
You like, oh. So it just shifts your mind to look at things in a different way compared to, oh, everyone is against me. Oh, no, use that for your benefit. What? Use everybody against me for my benefit?
That was mine. Yeah. I'm like, really? But learning it now, I don't think negative about a lot of situations. I think it's all for His glory.
Yeah.
I'm grateful.
Yeah, I'm very grateful
that we have the opportunity.
Became sisters in emotional
Yes,
healing
ma'am.
and dunamis women.
You know what? That lets me just want to sing out.
Oh,
You want to
sing out?
sing? 1, 2, 3, go.
Dunamis woman.